Hello and welcome to episode 380 of 5-Star Potential, your weekly Football Manager podcast. I'm Doop, and on this week's pod, I'm joined by my favourite Irishman, Mr. Madd 50 FM. How you doing, buddy? Welcome to the stream.
I'm the only Irish person you know, I think, no?
I've just welcomed you to the stream, not the podcast. I've been streaming again, Matt. Can you tell?
Where did you stream? Where do you stream, by the way, actually, out of interest?
From here, really. I just sit here and do it. To be fair. How are you, mate? Are you good? Actually, you're not the only Irishman. I got a couple at work. To be fair, so
they're pricks.
Yeah, funny enough. No, how you doing, man? You good? You good week? Have you had fun this
week? The week is going better than the weekend. Let's put it that way, because the weekend was mired with a bit of football, Ireland, England, etc. on Sunday. It was so promising for 45 minutes, and then it all went to absolute shit, as you well know. All I'll say is I've never seen Liam Scales and Paul McShane in the same room. So that's what I'm going to say about that.
It's a tough one, mate. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a tough one. I don't think it was a 5-0 game at all.
I mean, the first half in particular, like, you know, if you kind of step back and you look at it, Ireland are ranked something like 69 in the world or something ridiculous now, and England are 4th. So, like, we've done well to hold you for the first 45 minutes, and then 6 minutes in, red card, game over. 3 minutes, 6 minutes, 3 goals done, like cooked.
Let's not forget, like, I think it was something like 62% of our fucking squad had pulled out. So, like, they didn't even want to fucking play you.
It's not our fault. Your players don't give a shit about their country. Where's the patriotism at all?
True.
Pricks.
Okay, I think that's the last we'll talk about it, because it's any winners or losers. I mean, as you can probably tell, we're not joined by Mr. Dave Azzopardi.
Winning.
So unfortunately, we can't talk about his Pentagon and how he yet again didn't win the Libertadores.
I think we need to start coming up with what you're going to tweet from his account. I think we should allocate 30 seconds to, like, what like, you surely already has something in mind for what you're going to tweet from that fucker's account.
Well, it might be a while till we see him again, because he's lost the Lib again, and we know how long it took him to get over the last Lib he lost. So yeah, there you go. Love you, Jace. It's fine. I've already told him that joke, so it's absolutely fine. So yeah. So there you go. There's no Dave today, but what we do have is we have myself and Madd, and we have both finished a season in our saves. So we're going to go through, talk a bit of Spain, talk about how we're getting on, because you finished your season in La Liga, and so have I. So it'd be nice to see where we have kind of finished.
That's your second season?
First season.
That's your first season.
Yeah, I had a 2-week sabbatical. It was that stressful. I had to take 2 weeks off. And then we'll probably finish up with a quiz. You can quiz me this week as I quizzed you last week. Quite a good quiz, actually. I listened back to the pod. It's quite a good quiz.
I listened to it as well, actually.
So no pressure. I've spoke quite a lot, and I've just come off my stream over at twitch.tv/Doop most nights at 7 o'clock. Go check it out. So do you want to tell us about your save whilst I have a drink of all sorts?
Yeah, no problem. Have your drink. Yes, sorry. Deportivo. So you finished season 1.
Sugar, by the way. I mean, it's the GOAT.
Is it that good?
Oh, it's phenomenal. Sorry, I'll let you carry on.
No problem.
We're not sponsored, but I'll let you carry on.
Totally throwing me off. I'm drinking wine here, so let's just cheers.
Oh yeah, up the ticks. White wine as well. Sorry, completely irrelevant to what we're going to talk about. And, you know, Dave could edit this out if you want. Only ever so recently, I have become a bit of a connoisseur for red wine, Madd. I see you're drinking white. Do you drink red?
Do you know what? Really similar story. A bottle of red kind of appeared in the apartment, like, well, but a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And I was just sipping from it. And I was like, because normally I like cold drinks. I don't even drink tea or coffee or anything. So I usually like it to be out of the fridge. But it's kind of growing on me, just having a little glass of wine.
I'm gonna let you in. This is a exclusive. I don't think I've told this story anywhere else because it's very shameful. But I was very young and I was playing for a men's football team. I was of age in some countries, and we did a dinner and dance at the end of the season. It is football related, I promise. And right at the end of the season, my dad managed the first team, and this was men's, and I was only 14, and I managed I played, not managed, I played for the B team. And at the dinner and dance, we may have or may not, in a closed private function, had a few drinks. And as the
Hmm.
bus turned up, it was because the where the function was quite out of town. As the bus turned up, a load of the footballers' wives decided to buy a bottle of wine, red wine, and they couldn't drink it because the bus had turned up. And me, as you probably do, I mean, I know I come across quite shy, and all that jazz, but Matt knows I like a drink, and basically, I picked up the bottle of wine, red wine, and drunk a good lot of it in one go out of the bottle at 14. And then
Classy.
proceeded to get on the bus. I had drunk a few ciders and shots and everything else as well when I was 19. And got on the bus, got halfway down the road, and was very, very poorly.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. We could
I
see it
was
coming
very
straight back up.
poorly over my mum. Um, and that isn't a euphemism. I was very poorly, and
Oh, fuck.
we then had to walk 3.5 miles. Me, my mum, and my dad were off to Vindaloo. We had to walk 3.5 miles, and I was absolutely not in a right way at all. And I hadn't touched red wine since then until about 4 weeks ago.
Jeez. Talk about
It's
scarred
taken
and
me that
traumatized.
long to get over it. So, like, that's why I just took a very long time. So there's a little story, a little peek behind the curtains for me. But drink responsibly, folks. Please do. But I absolutely paid for that. I genuinely feel I still could taste the hangover now. And my punishment was because I was in the back garden being poorly as well. Was my dad got me a bucket of hot water and a toothbrush, and I had to clean the whole of the wall in the back garden as punishment.
Was it
It
the wall
was
that you had thrown red wine up onto or something?
I had puked on it. Yes. It wasn't a grey wall, not that one in China anyway. So
No.
yeah, it was quite a long wall. But yes, that was my punishment. So there you go. Drink responsibly, kids. Well, sorry, Matt. Fire away. Sorry, that's
I'll keep
I know
let's
you said
move
you wanted
past
to
that
pad it
subject.
out to 50 minutes, but that's a bit mental.
I mean, yeah, wine isn't really designed to drink it by the neck, but anyway, yeah, don't be like Dupe listeners. Drink it by the glass and enjoy it.
Or the
Okay,
gallon.
Deportivo. You said you've completed season 1. I have finished
Yes.
now season 3. This is the
Wow.
fastest I've gotten through. This is the most I've played FM in FM24 all in one kind of a short space of time. Which is interesting. Like I'm getting through it. I'm playing on extended highlights, fairly quick speed, but there's a lot going on in the games, and I'm getting through fairly quick because it's just I'm really enjoying the save. When we left off last week, so I think I spent most of last week just talking about the players we'd signed.
Yeah.
Um, so buy low, sell high was basically the name of the game. I think I'd bought about 10 players for about 25 million. So that's kind of the theme really that you can imagine. But some really, really good signings. Like I'm going to go through the season. The season went really well in the end. Now, at the very beginning, so I think when I left off last week, we had 4 or 5 games played. Couple of dodgy results. Like we lost at home to Valencia. We lost to Osasuna. We had a draw against Santander, who had just been promoted. So I actually early doors changed formation. I was playing a 4-2-3-1 and I flipped to the old 4-3-3. And that was kind of okay. Kind of hot and cold, no major change. But 2 things I did do, which really stood out for the rest of the season. So
Same
in that
reloaded.
4-3-3, I wish in that 4-3-3, we had Cameron Archer as an advanced forward and kept getting got offside a lot. A lot of these VARs, goal disallowed, or just getting isolated. And even when I'd win and other players were scoring and playing well, he was having like a 6.5 and just not scoring. So I just said I kind of let's bring him into the game a bit more, and maybe he can. I just dropped him to a deep lying forward. Um, that just changed everything for him, and I'm going to tell you about his goals in a minute because it just took off. And then the other thing I did was I kind of reverted back to what I think would have been FM22 for me, if not 21. CM on attack. You remember we used to be big
Oh,
fans of the CM on attack.
I used to love moving
So,
a winger in and making him a CM attack. They used to work so well.
and I think similar notes. So you remember I talked a lot about Junior Krupi, who was the wonder
Yeah.
kid I had signed. Wasn't really getting much out of him as a number 10. Wasn't getting much of him on the left. I put him in the CM on attack role, and obviously I had him training on it a little bit. but it absolutely worked for him in terms of goals, assists, rating. It totally kind of changed how he was doing for us. This is his second season with us, and he didn't do much last season, to be fair. So those two little tweaks and then the overall tactic change, it basically changed everything. So I'm looking at September, October, November. So we had 4, 8, 11 games all in the league in 3 months. And we won 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. And one of the games we lost was away to Barcelona, which is fine. So suddenly we won 9 games, Dupe. And Cameron Archer scored 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which was a hat trick, 8, 9 in a brace. 9 goals in that period, Cameron Archer scored
Wow.
just by flipping him to a DLF. And I mean, I can't really explain it.
Mm.
And then Junior Krupi as well started popping up with the goals. He scored, I'm looking at it here, 4 goals in that period. And then I had a couple of wingers that I had signed in. I mentioned 2 of the wingers last week. One was a Croatian guy from Zagreb, Luka Stojkovic. He started banging in the goals. He got 3 or 4, and he got a brace in a game. And the young guy we'd signed from Man City, who was Joel Indala, he actually scored 2 or 3 as well. So it just clicked pretty quickly, and I'm still not too sure why. Um, and like 2 of the games in November, we beat Athletic Bilbao 5-3, and then we beat Atletico
Wow.
Madrid away 4-2. So we're just cooking here. And I had a right back who's playing as a wing back. We'd signed the season before. I think he was Belgian or French. He is French. And we'd signed him from the German league, William Mikkel Blancy or something. Absolutely racking up the assists in this formation as well. So absolutely flying it. By the time we got to Christmas, we lost 7-1 to Real Madrid just in the middle of it. But I just start to not really count the Real Madrid games anymore because it's just stupid. And same with Barcelona. We're just so far behind them. But by the time we got to the end of the year, end of December, third in the league, which is, I was just like, kind of, how have we ended up here? And I couldn't really believe it. Now, I had a couple of injuries. I still had a thin squad. I was very reliant on those 2 wingers. So into January, I didn't really have too much money to spend. But one of the things I did was I just needed a bit of reinforcement. So, do you know that guy who moved to Tottenham this season from Burnley? Is it Wilson Odebear? He plays on the left, I think. He's a young winger that Tottenham picked up from
Oh, this
Burnley.
is where we need Dave, don't we?
Yeah, he's played a bit for Spurs, but anyway, he was available on loan, so I loaned him in. Now he didn't do much, but he was a bit of backup, bit of quality there as well. So that was nice to see. But the one other player I want to call out to you then, and I mentioned him last week. So it's a midfielder I signed on loan from Sassuolo with a 15 million optional fee. His name is Luca Lipani, Lipani. He's not Nugent. And he was playing beside Krupi. So Krupi's in the CM on attack. And I was looking at Lupani and I was like, should I put him as a playmaker? His vision is okay. His passing is decent. His natural position is a Carrilero, which I've never played in FM before. So I just went, okay, let's just put him as a Carrilero. And he's just been unbelievable. And what I mean by unbelievable, like, he's not scoring loads and loads of goals. So for the whole season, he scored 4 goals and he got 6 assists, but his average rating was 7.3. He
Right.
was just getting high ratings in every game
Yeah.
for a player in that role. It's just not common. Spoiler, I managed to get some money. I'll tell you where I got it from in the summer, and I
Oh,
did
that
make
stinks.
that move permanent. I did make that move permanent. There was no way I could not make that move permanent. And again, like I think he's only 22. He's 22 now as we speak by the end of the season. So absolutely loving that signing. Highly recommend anyone to go out and have a look at him. So, Dupe, we go into January, and this is the first time we had do you know what? This is actually one of the reasons why I went to get a reinforcement. I had 2 draws against Villarreal and drumroll Alaves in January, and then I lost a game to Ibar in the Copa del Rey third round, got knocked out, and we lost 4-2 to Valencia. So we lost to Valencia twice in the season. So that's when I kind of went for reinforcements. But we go into February, and this is a rare time I'll ever say this, but we actually had very few injuries at all, like in the business half of the season. And we played 6 games in February and won them all. And I like now the teams that are there: Elche, Mallorca, Osasuna, Las Palmas, Celta Vigo, Girona. No major kind of teams. There was no giant killings or anything like that. But it just became the Cameron Archer show again. Dupe. He scored
Love
one,
it.
two, three, 4 goals in those 6 games. Lipani was scoring. I can see like Krupi was on the score sheet, the Croatian winger. and they're not huge wins. It's a 2-0, it's a 2-1, it's a 3-1. You know, we're not hammering everyone, but just became really consistent. And I suppose, long story short, you know, we kept going throughout the season. We, you know, into March, beat Getafe, lost to Barcelona again. Atletico Madrid got their revenge on us, and then on the last 6 games, we won 4 of them. And by the time I got to, I think it was our second last or third last game where we lost to Real Madrid again, we had pretty much wrapped up third place. So I basically stayed in third from Christmas all the way to the end of the season.
Wow.
And genuinely, just to throw it out there, it's largely because of Cameron Archer. Because I can tell you, we got to the last game of the season, Dupe, that you'll enjoy this one. So as we go into the last game of the season, the top scorer list had 2 players on 23 goals. One of them was Cameron Archer, and one of them was Kylian Mbappe.
Wowza.
So because we've wrapped up third, I'm like, Cameron Archer was actually pretty tired by this point because the games are fairly close to each other, I think, towards the end. But
Yeah,
I
at
was
the
like, we
end of the
have to
season,
play him.
they close up. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly. But I was like, you know what? We absolutely have to play him. So we're playing Villarreal, and we played them at home, and we actually beat them 4-1. Now, by halftime, he was knackered. And I was like, oh, I feel terrible now. You know, he could get a terrible injury or something. And we got to, I'm trying to open it here. My mouse is like dying as we speak. But we got to, I think it was the 70th or 80th minute. Neither Mbappe or Cameron Archer had scored. And then Mbappe scored in like the 80th minute, and he took the
No.
golden boot away from us. Absolute prick, or whatever you want to call it, golden boot, or the top scorer, or basically. And yeah, but like, seriously, Cameron Archer, whatever his name is, absolutely unbelievable season. The season we bought him in season 2, he scored a handful of goals, nothing major. But I talked about his attributes; it sounded really good. He just banged for the whole season, and he stayed fit for the majority of it. He had about a 2-week injury in and around Christmas, and that was it. So we finished third in the league, and I'm a bit surprised, to be honest. But like, it's been the signings. The players we've bought have been really, really good. Like, almost every signing we've made has been really solid. The 2 centre backs we brought in, one was Cody De Winter from Lazio. The other one was that Pacheco fella that you and I spoke about,
Yeah.
who is Basque. They just sat there, and they were the centre back pairing for the whole season. And a big shining light. So that right wing back we were playing, 14 assists in the league as a right wing back. Absolutely crazy stats, and he's pretty good. Like, I bought him for 3 million or something, but I wouldn't say he's the best wing back I've ever seen. It's just clicked. He's got pace. You know, he overlaps really well, and he just gets the ball into, as we said, Cameron Archer. And yeah, just unbelievable season. Really, to finish third. Wasn't expecting it. Now, I say we finished third. We were so far behind Real Madrid and Barcelona, it's not even funny. I'm going to give you the exact points now. Sorry, my mouse is literally dying as we're recording this, but battery. Barcelona won the league on 107 points. Real Madrid in second, 104.
Wow.
Deportivo La Coruña in third, 77.
What about Alves?
Alaves,
Alves,
15th. 15th in the league on 40 points.
okay.
So we finished 5 clear of Atletico Madrid. They had a terrible
good.
start to the season, and there's the second half of the season they started climbing up the league, and then there was a point where they were nearly going to catch us because they did beat us in one of the last games. But like, there's nearly 30 points between me in third and Real Madrid in second. That just shows you the gap. So
Is
best of the
Simeone
rest,
still
I
there?
suppose. Simeone, I'll tell you if Simeone's here. I'm fairly sure he's still there. In fact, I'm fairly sure all 3 of those managers are still there. But for some reason, they were really poor in the first half of the season. Simeone is still there at Atletico Madrid, and Hansi Flick is still at Barcelona, and Ancelotti is still at Real Madrid.
That's nuts,
which is
it?
mad, absolutely
Yeah,
mad.
nuts.
So I suppose it's some food for thought for you, because as good as you can be, like, I had a really good season there. We just beat all the teams we'd expect to beat. Cameron Archer obviously scoring loads of goals. Junior Krupi's played really well. But even as good as we were, and I'll find it hard to believe we'll be as good as that, you know, or we'll top that kind of points tally that we got, maybe a couple extra games. We're still 27 points behind Real Madrid in second, and 30 points behind Barcelona at top.
Yeah, that's mad, isn't it?
That's the challenge, really, isn't it? To try and overthrow those two.
Yeah.
So then, just as we got to the end of the season, or after we finished the season, no money. despite finishing third, getting Champions League, the board gave us like 8 million. Now it's early. I suppose you can wait till the TV money comes in, and then you're starting to do your, the award, what you call it, the reward for the bonus for the team, and sometimes you can get a bit extra cash there. But Lipani, so Luca Lipani, his value now has shot right up. We have a 15 million, I think it's 15.75 or 15.25 optional fee. He was already valued well over 20 million, if not 22. That's just his base value, the lowest value. And that loan was going to expire at the end of June. So I needed to get some funds to make his signing permanent. We got a 15 million euro bid from Leeds for the right back that's got the 14 assists. So here's the question I want to ask you before I finish up. I have a right wing back. He's about 23, who just got 14 assists in the league. And I have Luca Lipani, the guy who's playing in midfield in that Carolero world, with a 7.3 average, bear in mind, consistently above 7. Really important member of the team. I think he got 4 goals and 6 assists in the league, but that's not his, it's not his role to score and assist, obviously. Who's available for what is going to be a bargain of 15 million because his value is going to go up so quick. What would you do? Would you keep the right back and let the midfielder go back to his parent club, and then suddenly we lose the ability to trigger the optional fee? Or would you sell the right back? Fund the permanent signing?
What's your percentage? Are you going to be able to fund it?
So if I sell the right back, I can fund the midfielder.
Yeah, but what's your percentage of what do you get?
100. Sorry, 100. Yeah, the funds are overall fairly healthy.
I just feel that I think personally it's easier to find a centre mid than it is a right back.
Do you know what? When I made the decision, I thought the other way around.
I think a decent, quick, strong, assisting right back is harder to find than somebody that will carry a ball in the middle of the park. I just think there's so much more that you can do with somebody in the middle of the park. There's more options out there. You look, if I tell you now and I say to you, right, name me the best 5 right backs in the world right now, as he takes a swig of his white wine.
Livramento.
Who are you picking as your top 5 right backs right now?
The best right backs in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're looking at from an attacking sense, kind of more so.
Just right backs, right?
I mean,
so you just did a massive exhale of air there. And if I said to you, who's your 5 centre midfielders, you could probably reel them off a little bit easier as you've got a bigger pool of players to do that from.
The way I looked at it was this guy Lipani was available for 15 million. And he's, I'm talking buy low, sell high. He's only 22 or something.
Yeah.
And I could already see his value is going to be double that if I let him go back. So that was on my mind. And the other thing is, I suppose, I was thinking to get a player in centre midfield who can get those numbers, those average ratings to play that well and be that important. I'd never get that for 15 million anywhere else. At least that's the way I was thinking. And there was an element of panic because I was running out of time. So I opted to sell the right back controversially for 15 million because the money came in. It was there to be done. The timing was right in terms of I was literally running out of it. And I was just looking at it going, well, there's definitely right backs out there that aren't going to be as expensive as a midfielder who are going to be quick because this guy's quick. He's not an amazing, his defensive attributes are bang average. It's mainly because he's quick and he can cross and he can dribble. So I was thinking I'll get a cheaper right back than a cheaper centre midfielder. And also, if I'm thinking of resale value, Lipani's definitely going to have a much higher resale value later down the line. And I suppose for context, so we did sell Mikel Bronsis, who's the right back, sold him to Leeds. We made the signing of Lipani permanent. And since we made that signing permanent for 15 million, his value is now 29 to 37. And that's literally a week or two after we made the signing. So I suppose it just kind of shows the value potential there for future, I suppose, kind of an investment and resale. If we do,
and how much have you spent on the right back to replace your right back?
I'm looking at options as we speak. I'm trying to be a bit greedy here. I'm trying to get a right back who's quick and who can do the same wing back role, but who may also be able to cover at centre back. And in my save now, 3 seasons in, a player popped up there. He's worth about 9 million. Not Jack Clark. Is it Harry Clark? Ipswich. Is that his name? Let me go back and see. I'm mixing up Jack Clark and Harry. Let me get his name right. Harry Clark. So in real life, he just played for Ipswich this season, but
Right.
I'm looking at him in game here. He's 25, 15 pace, 15 acceleration. He's got like 13 dribbling, 13 crossing, and then his tackling is 13. He can play right back or centre back. He's 6'2". He probably will not have as good an effect as a wing back, but I was looking for someone who can kind of do a bit of both because cash flow obviously is the main thing.
Yeah,
So he's the
absolutely.
one I'm looking at bringing in, Harry Clark. And I noticed that he'll be counted as a foreign player because Brexit means Brexit in La Liga.
So really
Jeez.
quickly then, to make me feel better, first season in the league, where did you finish?
So I was in the division below,
Yeah,
and
sorry,
I
first
got
division in first time in La Liga is what kind of what I
first
was
time in
going.
La Liga. We finished 11th,
Okay.
and then we've fluked our way to third because it must be the Cameron Archer thing. I can't imagine he'll bang as well this season, but you never know.
Yeah, potentially not. Okay. Okay. All right. Cool. Well, I too have had a season in La Liga. I too have had a semi-successful season in La
I'm glad
Liga.
you said successful there.
I have to admit to you, spoilers, I didn't get relegated.
Nice.
After we discussed kind of like quite a difficult process of what we're going through, I didn't get relegated, which is like the main aim of the save. I kind of wanted to be aim of the season, not the save. I wanted to be 17th. Like I would
Well,
have
just
took
to remind everyone that you're doing Basque only, right? So Alaves would have what was their media prediction at the start?
Alves. Alaves. I always say Alves. Alaves's media prediction was 50.
And then when you add on the Basque only, that you
Yeah,
got to bring that
so
down to at least
we
17th, right?
we disabled the first window transfers
Okay.
to make it a little bit harder, uh, because we used the updated database. So kind of that winter or that summer transfers has already taken place. So I thought, well, let's not add more transfers to the mix. And then in the winter, we spent quite a lot of money. We spent quite a lot of money. When I
What is
say quite
quite
a
a
lot
lot.
of money, uh, fuck all. uh, a chap come in for free, an Argentinian who isn't Basque, who is a centre back, who just came in. He was signed. He was a pre-signing that was already signed before we
Okay.
could, and he just joined in January. So the argument there was, yep, we're fine to use him. We are going to look to get rid of him, but we're fine to use him for now. And then another chap came in on loan, who we just sent straight back. He was already we tried so we brought him in on loan ourselves. I think we paid like 5.5 grand a week for him. He turned up, he got, I want to say, like an ACL. He did something. He got injured straight away, and I just sent him back. And we were able to send him back after 28 days. So we spent nothing. We just played with the squad that we had. We did sell a a right winger slash striker, um, who went off to Wolfsburg. He played. I think he played twice for us. We sold him for like 1.7 million. I also sold an Algerian left midfielder who clearly isn't Basque for like 750,000. I sold a an old striker, very old striker, 35 years of age, really old, um, for like 350,000. He went to Philadelphia, which is one of the only reasons I sold him, to be fair. So we didn't add to the squad. We only had what we came out of the box. The issue that we had was we just couldn't find a system that I liked. Originally, we were going to go and aim to go down the diamond route. And we discussed that previously and we went through all that. So I'm going to pick up from December, the winter. Like I said, the transfer window had shut. We had done all right in the Copa Libertadores. That's Dave. The Copa del Rey, we got to the quarterfinals where we lost to Real Madrid. Would you like to guess the score? I nearly gave it away. We were away from home. Um, and we were
They beat me 7-1 anyway, so
We were
Hopefully
technically we got worse, but not worse. This was the first time we'd started going back to wide players. So we went for a 4-4-2 diamond, and then I went for a 4-2-4 with two DMs, two wide inside forwards, and then two strikers. And we're hoping to so basically we were creating some chances, but not enough. So I was trying to create more. Um, we actually opened the scoring up against Real Madrid. Villa Libra is one of our actual strikers who is
I like
Basque,
him.
which is fantastic. Yeah, he looks quite nice. He looks quite strong. Rudiger scored on the 6th minute. Mbappe scored on the 28th minute. Vinicius Jr. scored on the 44th minute. We then got one back. Antonio Blanco got one on the 55th minute. And Arda Güler scored on the 57th. Valverde on the
4-2,
68th.
5-2.
And then our centre back got a banging header on the 77th minute. And I'm
5-3.
like, 5-3, right? And I'm thinking, we've got 20 minutes. We are going to go all out a fucking tack. So I took a defender off. We put our two wing backs in to play a three at the back, the three guys at the back. We had our two DMs. We played them wide wingers slash on, but they were on support, so they would sit back. They would kind of help back while coming back, and then the rest were just up front. And for 20 minutes, we created so many chances. And on the 90th minute, Mbappe scored. On the 92nd minute,
Yeah.
Mbappe scored. And on the
7-3.
94th minute, Mbappe scored. He scored a 4-minute fucking
8-3.
hat-trick against me. 8-3 it was in the end. We bowed out of the Copa del Rey. And do you know what I thought? I learned a lot from that. And I thought we could. I'm happy. Like, as much as
That's further than I've gotten in the Copa del Rey in 3 seasons.
Yeah, we did play second division team, third division team, second division team. Then we played Elche, which is the second division team. Then we played Real Madrid. So we got a good draw. We don't actually get that much money for the Copa del Rey. However, in the same round of fixtures to me, Getafe went out to Almeria, who Almeria are a second division team. And Abasisi, I don't know how to say their name.
I think it's Albacete.
Albacete. Okay, there you go. I thought that was a bit too Italian to pronounce it like that. Albacete. They beat Barcelona 1-0.
Yes.
Right in the quarterfinals. In the semi-finals, they beat Valencia 3-2 on aggregate. So they played Real Madrid in the final. Real Madrid beat Almeria 11-1 in the semi-final. And then in the final, Real Madrid won 2-0. So we went out to the eventual winners, which is a bit of a shame. Anyway, the rest of the season, we kind of stuck with this 4-2-4 DM wide. We picked up results against Girona, drew against Espanyol, lost to Villarreal, lost to Barcelona, kind of what you would expect. Lost 2-0 to Real Madrid in the league. We did perform a little bit better. But again, nothing really clicked. I wasn't overly happy with a lot of things. We just kind of were trying to get to that safe mode, right? As soon as we were safe, I was kind of happy. We had quite a nice little win against Sevilla. Sevilla? What am I even trying to do? Seville. We had quite a nice little win. They scored quite late, but we did quite well. And then tonight's stream, we picked up with 5 games to go. We had an incredible 3-3 draw against Atletico Bilbao. Obviously, the Basque derby for us, it's the biggest one. Inaki Williams got a brace, and they were 3-1 up with about 15 minutes to go. And then Tony Martinez, who unfortunately I think we're going to have to part ways with. So if you don't know who he used to play for Fimlica, West Ham, he actually spent some time at Oxford United, which Oxford United are pretty good at the moment. They're in the Championship, but they were in League One at the time. So he's a bit of a strange character, but he did really well. He scored 2 goals in 2 minutes, which meant we drew 3-3 against Bilbao, which was good. And then we finished the season with a loss to Getafe, and then beat 3 teams on the bouts. We've even beaten Celta Vigo right at the end, who were quite a good. They finished 9th in the end. However, we were 3-0 up against Celta Vigo. we needed Valencia to win against Villarreal for us to jump Villarreal and go into 11th position, which is where you finished the first
Mm.
season in La Liga. And on the 92nd minute, Hugo Dora scored for Valencia, which meant we
He scores
finished.
against me all the time as well.
Yeah, he's quality. We finished 11th, above Betis, above Villarreal, but below Mallorca, which I thought we'd be better team than
Weird.
them, to be fair.
That's a great
Um,
finish.
It's a great finish. I'm well chuffed with 11th. The only concerns I've got is when you go into the player statistics and you kind of look at the overview of the season. Tony Martinez was in the top 10 for goal scorers of the season. He got 15 for the season. Um, Big Robert got 34 and 34, which is nuts. He got
That's
34
crazy.
goals at the age of 36. He got 34 goals in 34 games. Um, the thing that concerns me the most is when you know me, I like my statistics. I like kind of breaking things down. Um, and we have the top two for yellow cards. We are top two. In fact, we have first, second, and fourth in yellow cards. That is uh, dive in. What's the
Get
instructions?
get
Get
stuck
stuck
in.
in. That's it. Offsides, we have second and fourth. Tony Martinez had 60 offsides in 34 games, which
Who
is
was ahead
just
of
a
him?
Kylian Mbappe was 71. However, let's look at it the other way. Saves completed. Our goalkeeper was second in the list, so we did really well with that. We also had interceptions per 90 was Manu Sanchez, which was the left back. He had the highest in the league. Fouls, Tony Martinez had the highest amount of fouls with 102 fouls. He,
As a striker,
as a striker, he's a
is he
pressing.
pressing forward?
No,
Yeah.
he's advanced forward. He's advanced. He got 2.94 per 90. So like there's a lot there to read. No, not a
Mm.
lot of positives to read into.
Lot
The
to
only
unpack.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. So we kind of broke it down after the stream. We jumped straight off. We are now going to be back tomorrow night, which obviously is going to be in the past for the pod. But I have accidentally hit continue once. And what has it done? It's give us our initial budgets, mad. So this year, because obviously we've not gone crazy, we had 5 million in the transfer budget, but we had about £300,000 worth of wage budget. But we weren't spending that. Our current club spending is at 152,000 a week. And you know that is not a lot of money
That's
for
very
us
low for La
to
Liga.
get where we are, right? And that's only going to go down because a lot of our big earners are going to go off and we're going to be buying young Bass players. They've just offered us £500,000 a week on wage budget. So we're going to move that over to transfer. And I'm going to give myself £300,000 a week on my wage budget again because I know I won't spend that. Which means I got £24 million to spend.
Ooh, nice. That's tasty.
Yes, it is tasty. We have a few players that we'll be looking at. We have spent a lot of time on our scouting. In the recruitment focuses, we've gone into certain areas. So, for example, we got scouts in Spain. You go into Spain, and then you go into um, further details, and you say their nationality is Basque.
Hmm.
Because you can do that. Doesn't really work, but you can do that. We've done it here. We want in Europe as well. We've said that we want only Basque only players for that to search. In the whole season, in the whole of Europe, Matt, I've got two of my best scouts looking. How many players have they? How many recommendations have we got? How many near matches have we got? One. I'm gonna stop you there.
I was gonna say two.
One. I have one near match, zero recommendations. And my one
And
near match
is any good?
is awful. He's 31 years of age when we asked for up to 25. He is
They just
Basque,
don't. They
which
just
is
don't.
half the story. He is Basque, but he's not great. Western Europe, I put a chap who had Western Europe scouting ability, which is obviously
Mm.
France and Spain and that kind of side where the Basque region is. And yeah, we've got about 7 in progress, but nobody really kind of stands out. And there's one called Pablo Marin, who's at Sociedad at the moment. He's only 21 years of age. He's kind of about 450,000 pounds. However, his determination has come back a lot. Like his physicals are great for 21. He's a centre mid. Um, I'd probably convert him more to one of the DMs rather than the attacking player. Um, he has got really good technique and good passing, but his vision isn't great. His tackling's really good. Um, he's got two really bad things about him. Actually, three. One being he's got a leadership of one. Now, I'm not saying I want him to be captain, but I want everyone to have a good leadership. I'm
Mm.
actually I'm a big lover of the leadership. I just feel that um, it really kind of rallies everybody about, and everyone kind of ups their game with good leadership. He's got
The game likes
determination
it
of
as well.
yeah. He's got determination of 4. That to me is awful. And he's also got 4 slits in his eyebrow on his face pack.
You can't
Oh,
be
I
having
don't
that.
think I'll be signing him. Um,
No.
and that's about it. That's all my scouts have really come back and said that are half decent, um, which is a little bit frustrating. They have brought one guy in that they recommend me, but he's just too old. So I don't know, Matt. I'll be honest. I don't know where we're going to go, what we're going to do, how we're even going to attack this. But we have a good bit of money. The issue that we now have is what we do with our other players. So we do have some
Because you have to
relatively.
offload them
We don't have to. I mean, so we do have to. The idea is to
at
have a
some
full
point.
bashing side. The way I'm going to do this is I'm not going to offer them contracts if they're
Mm.
not Basque. Okay.
Yeah.
So we actually lose 3 players this season. 3 permanent players and 3 loanees. Those 3 loanees, 2 of them played every week. Manu Sanchez played 24 games. He got 1 goal, 7 assists. I would recommend him for a left back if you need a left back. Mad. He's at
Okay.
Osasuna on the game. No, sorry, I've just completely lied. He's at Celta Vigo on the game.
Mm.
And he's very good. I like him a lot. But he's got to go. I can't re-sign him. We've also got a Moroccan centre back who really upset me, but I had to continue playing him because he's very, very good. He's 6'2". He's got jumping reach of 16, strength of 16. His acceleration and his pace is 13. He's got good determination, but his heading, marking, and tackling all 14. Um, and he had 1 year left on his contract, so I tried to sell him. Not because I wanted to sell him, but because I saw the value in selling him. Um, and he agreed to go to Saudi Arabia. And I'm thinking, he's like, I want to go to Saudi. I want to go to Saudi. I want to go to Saudi.
Jackpot.
Yeah, I thought that absolutely. And I had a few offers in from Saudi, and I'm thinking, here we go. And then the Bosnian rule turned out, and he went and signed up for free.
Uh,
He signed for a free, Mad. So he's
that's
off
where maybe you should
to,
have given him a contract, but with the intention of selling
but
him.
I'm not allowed. That's the rules. He's
Yeah.
off to Al
Okay.
Shamel
Fair.
Sports Club
Chief.
for a free. Um, so we're going to lose a few players. However, we're also going to try and cash in on a few players, which is risky. It's a risky business. And those 2 players are Tony Martinez.
Mm.
Tony Martinez is 27 years of age. His contract runs out in 2027. We're obviously at the end of 2024. So he has a long time left on that contract. However, he's just played 38 games for us in the league. He's got 15 goals, 6 assists, 6 player of the matches. His stock is highest now.
Yeah.
He's also asked to leave because he wants to play Champions League football.
Don't we
The
all?
4 clubs that are in for him are Fulham, Leeds, Nottingham Forest, and Brentford. So good luck playing Champions League football there.
I mean,
And
he
then
played for Oxford. I don't know where he's getting his notions from, but anyway.
the other one is our goalkeeper Severa. He's good. I was very happy with him. We had a couple of dodgy things. He conceded 56 goals in 38 games for us, where that isn't terrible for our division, to be perfectly frank, and our level
Mm.
of the game. He's valued at about 10, 11 million. Tony Martinez is about 20, 22 million. So we get 100% of it. Sorry, we don't. We get 70% of it. So if that gives us an extra 20, 30 mil, then, that's not a terrible idea.
As long as the one thing I'll say is, because I remember this from doing all Legionnaires, it's great to have loads of money. Just make sure there are good enough players to buy with it,
I'll be
rather
honest
than
with you,
buying shit.
I don't think it's the good enough players that I'm concerned about.
Okay,
It's having the reputation to bring
that's what I mean. Players
somebody in.
who will come play, good enough players who will come
Yeah,
through. That's
so,
what I mean.
we we are struggling a wee bit, I'm not gonna lie, but this is the fun now, and we're gonna be jumping in on this and streaming, and I wouldn't be I've got what have I got? I've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday streams, and I wouldn't be shocked if we're still in preseason on Sunday or on Monday,
You got a
Tuesday
lot to
next
do.
week.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We've
A lot
got
of
a
work
lot to
to do.
do. There's a few players that I'm interested in. There's a few players that we're gonna kinda have a little look at.
Is it
But
cheating if I? So I'm looking at a player like I was looking at him today, and he's at Athletic Club. He's only 20 still in my say, so he's probably quite young, but he is Basque.
yeah.
And I mentioned this about Pacheco, the centre back. Like I would have no problem buying
What's his
a
name?
guy, but I might sell him later. His name is I think it's Adrian Perez.
Okay.
He is
It's not
a
Aridonna, who I've
no,
got on
it's
my screen at the moment. He looks
no.
like the
I
guy
have
I wanna sign.
the guy I have here. He's not a Nugent. Is Adrian Perez. He
Okay.
is he plays on the right or up front, but his attributes look really good in it. So I'm in the hunt for a right-sided forward, and pace 14, acceleration 15, finishing 15, first touch 15, technique 14, off the ball 16, determination 15. He's probably still in there under whatever under 19s.
Yeah, I'm just
Um,
looking,
if he's there at all,
he's
Adrian
not here on
Perez.
my he's not here. No, he's not here on
See
my
if he's around somewhere, but he looks
yeah.
really good in my save anyway. I'm just gonna make sure he was at. Maybe they signed him. Better look at his history to make sure it makes sense.
Well, what
Yeah, it
I
looks like
have
he's always been there. It looks like he's always been in Bilbao,
okay.
but he was on loan, Basconia, Burgos. But yeah, I don't know. Have a
Well,
look, Adrian Perez. Keep an eye out for him.
what I have been doing throughout the course of the season is kind of tickling around Atletico Bilbao, who at this moment in time are currently managed by Rafa Benitez.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. Poor sods.
Mm,
So I've been going on their overview page and checking out their hot prospects and just going in and trying to steal like a kind of a little look on them.
mm.
Um, there's a few players that I want from there, but whether we get them is kind of a completely different story because well, they are kind of the best team available. You know, they're going to be in Europe next year, and we haven't got Europe to offer. So it's gonna be a learning curve. It's going to be tricky. It also doesn't help when clubs are sacking their manager, and we're like, oh, we could just go there instead, and it just be like a little journeyman instead and have fun, or we
Yeah.
just live here and live in pain. So currently, I have applied for another job. I'm not
Oh,
going to lie. Um, and that other club is Manchester United. Um, they
of course.
finished fifth in the Premier League. Two managers have sacked their manager. Two clubs have sacked their manager at the end of May. Manchester United and Newcastle United.
Newcastle have gone through Eddie Howe, Thomas Tuchel, Jose Mourinho, and now they're on Thomas Frank in my save, and I've done three
Wowza.
seasons.
That's pretty mental.
Batshit.
Um, so before we jump out of that though, man, I want to just quickly tell you about the Barcelona Real Madrid saga in my save. So
Oh yes.
Barcelona won the league by 3 points. They didn't get as many points as you did. They got 95 points. Real Madrid got
Respectable.
92 points. Real Madrid
Okay.
obviously came second at a goal difference of 87.
And how many of them were against you?
Four. No, because that was in the Copa del
Oh
Rey,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So they scored 110 goals and they
It's
conceded
insane.
23 goals.
The gap is just stupid.
So here's the fun bit. Real Madrid scored more goals in 20th place and 19th place and 18th place and 17th place.
Combined like this couldn't. Oh god, it's ridiculous.
Real Madrid conceded less goals than 20th place scored goals.
It's, it's just not fair. It really isn't fair,
Fair.
especially not in FM. In FM to have Mbappe, Vinny Jr., Bellingham, and then whoever else they're signing in on top, like it's just it's.
So Barcelona had a goal difference of 66. They won the league, like I said, 3 points. They won it like on the penultimate day. They drew 1-1 with Real Madrid or 0-0. They still did very well. Don't get me wrong. But Atletico Madrid got a goal difference of 30. Valencia 35. There's your top 4. Then your next 3 are in Europa League and Europa Conference League. Sociedad got 12 goal difference. Atletico Bilbao got 3 goal difference. And Seville got 5 goal difference. And that's your top 7. 8th, -8. 9, -4. 10, -8. 11, -1. That's us. We did quite well. And it's just nuts. Bottom went down with a -53 goal
Yeah,
difference.
I mean they're just eating goals. What was the gap
Yeah.
between second and third then? So between Madrid and whoever finished third, it must have been like
77 and 92. So Atletico Madrid finished third, and that was
20,
77 points
25,
over. Yeah,
15,
25
sorry.
points. 15 points, yeah.
That's not as broad, okay.
I finished 6 points, 8 points off of Europa Conference League.
Not bad.
I finished 9 points off of Europa League. And then I finished 21 points off of top 4.
Well, you have room to improve, and as you said, you have work to do. That's the main thing. If you can
Yeah,
get in some
absolutely.
players, the right players, because
I
that's
think it's
the
going to
main,
be
yeah.
one of and the annoying bit is in that whole year, I haven't settled on a system either. So it's going to be a hell of a journey.
Fair play. Good season.
Right. Quiz time. Let's get it done.
Quiz time. Okay, this is all on you, Sotup. This is a test of your knowledge, and it shouldn't be too hard until we get towards slim pickings, let's call it. I took great satisfaction not out of England playing Ireland and the result, but out of the fact that there were 3 Newcastle players in the England 11 and no
God.
Man United players, Dupe. No
Correct.
Man United players in the entire squad.
Yeah,
So,
first time in a
simple
long
enough
time.
for you. Since 1990,
Yeah.
my favorite number because I'm Irish, there have been 33 Man United players that have played for England. I want you to just start going through and see how many you can get through. Starting
Since
from now.
1990.
Since 1990, 33 English players. So you can just start shouting names and we'll just start marking them off.
Teddy Sheringham.
Teddy Sheringham is correct, 13 caps.
Andy Cole.
Andy Cole is correct, 15 caps.
Did they have to be at United at the time?
At United at the time.
Beckham, Scholes, Ferdinand.
Correct.
Carrick.
Correct.
Neville.
Which one?
Gary.
Correct.
Phil.
Correct.
Wazza.
Correct, 102 caps.
Maguire.
Correct.
Shaw.
Correct.
Rashford.
Correct.
Bobby.
Correct.
Jesse.
Correct.
Smalling.
I like that you're on first name terms with them as well. Who was the player you said there?
Smalling.
Correct.
Alan Smith.
Alan Smith is correct. 9 caps.
Danny Welbeck.
Danny Welbeck is correct. 25.
Phil Jones.
Philip Jones is correct.
Owen Hargreaves.
Correct.
Paul Ince.
Correct. He's going well, guys. I think you're down to about 10.
You got to say that. Twat face.
Which one?
There's a few.
Recent twat face. Playing in France twat face.
Yes.
We don't even say his name. Correct.
Nicky Butt. Didn't say him.
Correct. Good shout. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You've got 11 left.
I'm trying to think of the old you know, just on the complete off, I watched the full game of the opening of the 96-97 season with David Beckham scored on the halfway line the other day. So I'm just going through that squad in my
Against
brain. Wimbledon.
Wimbledon and Neil
Yeah.
Sullivan.
Yeah.
So, would you like a little hint?
1990. No, it's okay. Okay. Lee Sharp?
So just Lee Sharp is correct. I was about to say the oldest three on the list, like the first three from 1990 onwards, are still on the list, but Lee Sharp was one of them, and now he's off it.
I don't think Steve Bruce did play for England.
You'd be right.
But we'll go with Pallister.
Pallister is correct.
Oh, okay. Let's get them out of the way. Foster, Heaton, Henderson.
I can tell you Foster is correct and Henderson is correct, but Tom Heaton is not. Never played
Okay.
while at Man United. 1, 2,
Tom
3,
Cleverley?
4, 5, 6, 7. Tom Cleverley is correct. 13
Was
caps.
the
That
Tom-
brings
the
you down to
Tom-
6 remaining.
The Tom got me there.
I think
Mason
you can
Mount?
get them, listeners.
Mason Mount
is not on my list, interestingly.
Oh, he's probably okay. He's probably not played whilst he's been
Probably
injured.
not been back. Like, yeah.
Paul Parker.
Paul Parker is the last one of those old three. Yeah, 3 caps, 91 to 1994.
Kieran Richardson.
Kieran Richardson is correct. 8 caps. He's got 4 left, listeners. If you knew them at this point, drop us a comment on YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube, you'll see I'm also wearing the Tokyo FC one that I promised Dave last week, and he didn't show up. Chief.
Okay,
would you like some hints?
I think I might, because I've kind of forgotten who I've said now.
Okay, so you have a centre back. You have a winger turned wing back / fullback.
Ashley Young.
Ashley Young is correct.
I thought I said his name.
Negative. So now you're down to 3. So you have a centre back, and then you have 2, not strikers, but forwards. Let's call them wide forwards.
Wes Brown.
Wes Brown is correct. Great wide forward he turned out to be. 2 to go. He's done well.
Are we talking like Dave's era or my and your era?
Definitely more on Dave's. Not my era. Well, I mean, I'm still alive. I'm not dead yet.
Chunks.
Who it is?
Jadon
Go
Sancho.
again? Sancho is correct. 2021. 1 player left. This is a weird one. This is a really weird one. And I'm not surprised he's left on your list. It's only dawned on me. How is this guy even on this list?
How many caps did he have?
My
hang on.
is-
I think I've got it because you've given it away and you've wrecked it there.
Well, that's fine. He
You've
shouldn't be
wrecked
on
it
this list
because you're saying he's not English.
to an extent.
So is it Wilf Zaha?
It is Wilf Zaha. Sorry now for ruining it, but I don't know if you would have gotten it.
No. I'll be honest, mate.
I never would have got there.
About Wilf.
So according to my list, it says he has 1 cap, but it says on Wikipedia that he has 2 overall. Maybe 1 was elsewhere, but it must have been a friendly or something because he obviously now plays for the Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
I think we need to give Doop a round of applause for that. You just rattled through, absolutely raced through them. I'm impressed. 33.
I like that one. I'll be honest. I can't wait to do the Irish Newcastle one. So I have to admit, there's a few things that I do, and I like football, and I may have researched that one.
What, like today?
No, not today. So there are a few quizzes that I think you may drop, and I don't want to look like an absolute fool, so I do research and kind of.
Well, stop. Just
Hey,
cut
mate,
it
how
out.
fucking shit would that have been if I didn't? I'm just glad you stopped at 1990 because
Yes, definitely.
I struggled before 1990. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'll
But
do.
big shout out to Ray Wilkins, who I thought we could add because he was a few years earlier, but he yeah, God rest his soul. That does bring. I've lost the script, Mad.
Episode
Yeah.
380.
Okay, that brings episode 380 to a close. You can find the links for each of us by visiting the podcast description or by visiting 5starpotential.com, where you can find all of our latest Football Manager content. 5-Star Potential is available on iTunes, Spotify, and most of our popular podcast apps and platforms. With a brand new podcast released every single week. Thank you all for listening. There'll be more from us next week. Say goodbye, gentlemen.
He got there. Woo.
Wow, I've impressed myself twice tonight.
Bosh. Absolute bosh.